Good morning, everybody. We're delighted today to welcome Mark Lawrenson from Kents Hill Park School. He's joined us today from the Head of Physics Department to talk about the use and love of Water Rokit. It's a very exciting podcast today because Mark's actually been using the Water Rokit for 33 years. Especially this year as we're celebrating our 40th year anniversary in business. We were delighted to have this feedback, and we wanted just to have a little chat with Mark today to find out a little bit more about his career and also how he's used the Water Rokit through his career. Hi Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm really, really good. Thanks so much for joining us today. So tell us a little bit more about how you got into your role and a little bit more about your job and your career.
Gosh, well, my career's been long and it's had many highlights. I've been head of science 4 times. I've been a senior teacher and assistant head, but I have always been passionate about my physics teaching. So after all the highlights of the management side, I've come back to what I love, which is teaching physics and getting involved in the teaching and learning of physics.
Brilliant. Oh, wonderful. How wonderful. And at the moment, currently, what does your job involve and who are you teaching? What age group?
Well, at the moment, I'm teaching 11 to 16-year-olds. I'm leading on the physics department, so introducing new schemes of work, developing practicals, making it accessible to all students, developing assessments, and really bringing physics into the 21st century.
Oh, wonderful. So I'm sure you've seen some huge changes throughout your career in regards to how physics is taught and the experiments and the practicalities of everything.
Oh, indeed. I actually started when the national curriculum started. I'm that old. But what I've seen is vast amounts of changes. And in a sense, we've come full circle. Now we're a knowledge-based curriculum. It's been interesting to see some of the practical work that's developed. Some of the companies have developed some really interesting investigations and experimental work. And I'm still passionate about it. So looking forward to developing some more interactive experiences for the students.
And one kind of constant for 33 years, the Water Rokit. I mean, that's obviously a great testimonial for us.
Oh, it is. It's a fabulous piece of kit. It's simple, yet very powerful. It generates enthusiasm, interest, questions, and it's one that I come back to time and again because it's got so many uses.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit more the uses. You've discussed that. So give us some highlights, except the uses, etc., and how the children have enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, on a basic level, the first time they use it, the wow factor of seeing this take off to a really impressive height is just amazing. It's safe if you take the right precautions. It is fun, and you get that wow factor that I think hits your SMSC knowledge and wonder part of the curriculum. However, one of the things I really like about it is that it's easy to make it more complex. You can build up a lot of work on forces. So it does Newton's laws really well. It does investigative work really well. And if you're feeling really brave, you can even work with the maths department to do trigonometry and ranging, which I've even done with my A-level students when I worked at A-level.
Oh, that is fantastic to hear.
Yeah, that's hardcore. That's really.
Totally. Do you know, it's funny, isn't it? Because I'm not from a physics background, although a hobby of mine. I absolutely adore it. So as part of Water Rokit, since I've been a member of the team, we've been developing some really good fun sessions and lessons all about, STEM learning, and physics is at the heart of it. And I think one of the big things that I've noticed now, which there seems to be a shift with all the children, is that they are being encouraged now to do their own experiments and to make mistakes and learn through it. It's not about getting it wrong, about getting it wrong and learning, isn't it, as well?
Indeed, I think one of the most important things that's coming on with the new curriculum and new learning is this metacognitive process, whereby the encouragement to reflect on what you've done, realize where maybe mistakes have happened or improvements can be made. And that reflective process is really important for students' learning. And it's nice to see at last that it's being recognised.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because I do quite a lot of the social media, because obviously we've got our website and we have some social media channels, as everyone has to have these days. And I did a series of things on a Wednesday, because I have this hashtag Wednesday Wisdom, and I've been finding fantastic quotes from various very famous scientists, quite a lot of women that weren't necessarily talked about, but how their process was around making mistakes and keeping going. And that's how that's how you do it. You can't just give up, you just have to keep trying, which is brilliant. Because we made this video with the school down in Penzance, and it caught my eye. They had on the wall a quote from Einstein about, I can't remember the actual quote, but I'm not that clever, I just don't give up, or something along those lines.
Yes, I mean, I've actually got a book on Einstein quotes, because he's fabulous for really insightful and interesting insights into the way we work.
Yeah, and funny enough, I mean, just briefly, the history, the chap that we work for, who actually also runs a software company, John Wilkins, his father is the inventor, Roger Wilkins. And in fact, Charlotte met him for the first time last week. They had a day with the physics department at Eton. Oh, yes.
Oh, very nice.
La-di-da. And so Roger invented it with a friend. They were both engineers. And at that point, our now boss, John, was in his sort of early teens. And he was kind of experimented on quite a lot, I think, by Roger. And it took them a couple of years to sort of finesse the kind of, I'm not that good at the science, but the PSI or whatever you call it, where it actually goes off. And so and I mean, John has a twin brother, and then they also have twin sisters, and it's been the family company business, which is
that's wonderful to hear.
Which is also rather brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it's just awesome. And I think the other thing is that there are so many boring things out there, let's be honest. And if you can get kids engaged with a little bit of an adrenaline boost, and as you said, I mean, we actually have an expression we say, you always remember the first day you fly your rocket.
Indeed.
It does. It makes a huge impact. And if we can ignite children and get them on the first two rungs of the STEM ladder, then we've done our job. And I think that's a big thing, isn't it?
Oh, indeed. Yeah. I think one of the major inputs that staff have to subtly realise is the spark. Somewhere there needs to be that spark that lights the fire.
Yeah.
Children are naturally inquisitive people. They want to find out, they want to learn.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just needs a slightly different approach for different students.
Exactly. And funny enough, the other sort of, I don't want to use the word extreme, but from Eton to we have a kind of affiliation, just a friendship really, that we support each other with. There's a charity in London called Stem the Violence, which is actually a guy from Ecuador who's passionate. He actually works in the police in violent crime, but he's passionate about rocketry and blah blah blah. So we went to a workshop at an estate in London, doesn't matter where it was, and there were some pretty hardcore, they were young, but they were pretty hardcore kids who were not really interested in us and our rocket. And we had Simon Foster with us, who's another great champion of the water rocket, who's Dr. Simon Foster from Imperial College, who describes our product as the best STEM educational tool on the market. We like that. But he was trying to do this workshop, and he's putting people into teams. Are is your astronaut from China? Are you Russia? Are you wherever? And these kids were like throwing things. They couldn't give a monkeys really. But as soon as that rocket went off, it was like, oh, no, I'm in that team. No, I'm in the team that really did really well. It was very
funny. It is. It excites. So I've never had a student who said, well, that was boring.
No.
As you said, you'll never forget the first time you use one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, that's so motivating. I'm so looking forward to chatting to you this morning.
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. Well, just so that everybody realises that we do have our education portal up now. So if you want to go on, and you can download the Rocket Activity Day, which is fab fun. And there's even some discounts to be had if you're part of the education, to help you along the way when you purchase your rockets, etc. And also some spare bits and bobs if you lose the odd tail fin.
yeah, we're kind of into our sustainability.
Yes.
It's kind of at odds if you think about a plastic bottle, but we don't provide the bottle anymore, obviously, because there's plenty lying around, and so you don't need to be doing that.
I think it's a very sustainable product. It's recycling, and it's a high quality build, so you're not replacing it year in, year out, bar the occasional tail fin. And even the high quality seal lasts for years. I think it's a very sustainable product.
Yeah, we don't sell enough.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, but no, that's good though. But and I think that is why we do claim that we're the best water rocket on the market, because I think, you're a classic, perfect example of, if it works really well. It's very simple, but it's really well engineered.
It is. It's simple, but absolutely spot on. I've never even looked for another water rocket, to be honest. I found those and never looked back.
Never strayed.
Well,
No.
How did you find it in the beginning? Just literally Google. I mean, 33 years
ago. No, there wasn't Google. When I started off, there wasn't even an internet. I think they were just working on it at CERN.
Yeah.
So I think it was a mail shot, if we go back that far.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we thought, we've got to have that. That will really give physics a boost. And it did, and I've used it from primary to undergrad.
Amazing. And going back to the activity day that we talk about, which was, inspired by some of the work that Simon Foster's done, do you ever do launches with a payload on the top?
I have tried it,
Yeah.
and that's been great fun. But I want, one of the things I'm planning on doing is running a rocket camp.
Can we come?
Yeah, summer.
We will help.
It's an astronomy and rocket camp. It's basically, how do we get into space and what do we have to do?
Amazing.
So I've been applying for grants, and when it goes ahead, I will definitely give you an invite, because there'll be rocketry, there'll be some astronomy, there'll be some PE, because you've got to get fit for going into space. And I've even thought we could do some scuba, as in the same way that astronauts train.
That's such a good idea.
I'm sure we could send you a gift of a few rockets after your constant support.
No, that'd be very helpful. But no, that's and the water rockets would be an integral part of that. My next project, I don't know if I haven't seen all the materials, but I want to get a live cam on one, see what it's like when you launch a live cam.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to talk about sort of further developments, we're just working on a digital altimeter and accelerometer as well. So you're
fantastic.
So at least then the kids will be able to get the data in real time. Yes, as Susan touched on earlier, John Wilkins also has a software company, which is quite handy. So he's going to be developing the software in form of an app, so the kids will be able to go on and obviously get the maths, which will be absolutely brilliant fun as well. So I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful relationship, or the further development of a beautiful relationship that's been going for 33 years, I think, in closing.
Indeed. No, I would jump at that possibility. I will be using this for many years to come.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really, really interesting and enlightening to find out sort of your area and how you've used Water Rocket and how it's benefited you and your school. And we look forward to collaborating in the future and look forward to the next 33 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I look forward to working over the next 33 years with you
Brilliant. Brilliant.